So the Harris campaign has been having a slew of intersectional Zoom calls in order to rally her progressive base. This past Sunday, it was the liberal white women's turn to shine, or should I say to pander. So apparently there were over 160,000 women on the call. They also had a number of prominent voices join on, including artist Pink, soccer star Megan Rapinoe, and a few elected representatives, as well as some social media influencers. They were able to raise over $2 million on the call, so it looks like these Zoom calls are doubling as fundraisers for the Harris campaign, which I think is very interesting. So here is a clip from that call, the White Women for Kamala Harris call that has been circulating online.
Known as Mrs. Frazzle, to her combined audience of over 1.5 million followers, is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good, no matter who you are. You are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself. As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on. So do learn from and amplify the voices of those who have been historically marginalized, and use the privilege you have in order to push for systemic change.
This call lasted for over 2 hours. I was able to find it on YouTube, and just in case you want to torture yourself, I'm going to put it in the description box of this video. I'm going to link it just so you can have that option if that's what you're into. Now, there's so much that can be said here. But after watching portions of it, because obviously I could not sit through 2 hours of this, I came to the conclusion that I am willing to give up my right to vote. And I don't say that lightly, and I'm not joking. I'm actually being very serious. I am okay with the thought of not voting if it means that women like this don't get to vote. And I'm not saying, right, that they shouldn't vote entirely. I mean, I am. But it's the reason that they are promoting Kamala Harris that I feel like give credence or credit to the fact that they probably shouldn't be allowed to vote. Because you voting for someone strictly based on the color of their skin and their gender, I think disqualifies you from the privilege of voting. Because throughout this entire call, and again, I watched clips of it, so I filled in the blanks. The only thing they kept talking about was the fact that they had an opportunity to put a woman in the White House. And that's what's got all of their minds just going crazy. They're like, oh my God, a woman in the White House. That is the epitome of feminism. We have made it. But we all know that even if, by God, I hope not, even if Kamala Harris makes it into that White House, they're still going to complain about the patriarchy. A couple of things that she said there about, talking over BIPOC people and da-da-da. This is like white savior all over again in the weirdest way. If you want to vote for Kamala Harris for whatever reason, just vote for her. Don't do it because you feel like you're somehow being an ally or helping, marginalized people. It's so condescending and disgusting. It's annoying. Like, if you want to sit there and vote for her because she's a woman, then fine, do it. But you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I'm helping out black people too. Because it's like, in the same vein, you're saying, okay, I have privilege because I'm white, but I'm a victim because I'm a woman. So I have to use my privilege to help out women of color. But at the same time, I have to depend on the fact that I'm a victim to justify voting for one of the most incompetent politicians that we have had in American history. Here is what Pink had to say. I did grab a little portion of her contribution to this ridiculousness, and this is what she had to say.
We're a traveling city and we go all over the world, and the thing that keeps me inspired, even though I have lived through 4 years of Trump, just like the rest of you, and I stay inspired because I get to see the best of the best. I get to see audiences all around the world of people that are very, very different. And they come together, and I find that in sports and in music, we put down our armor and we come together for our team and for what we believe in and for what we believe is right. And I see people that rode a motorcycle that have not been around a lot of different people that don't have beards and don't look like them. And a man dressed up as me in drag who looks better than I ever did in the original outfit. And they're at first, they're a little standoffish and don't really know why they're at the same concert. And then by the end of it, they're arm in arm, crying and sweating on each other and having a moment. And I think what is being offered to us in 102 days is a chance for us to put our arms around each other and cry and sweat together.
I always find it interesting with liberal white women, but liberal women in general, not just the liberal white women, how they rally for men who are parading around as women and how they march for those men to take up women's spaces, all in the name of feminism, which is an ideology predicated on the advancement of women and in the protection of women. It's so weird. She said something there that I thought was interesting when she said that she survived 4 years of Trump. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, if we all experienced the same Trump presidency. Because from what I recall, the, United States of America was still together. Obviously, political discourse was what is like today, and that's mostly because of the liberal media. But I remember being able to afford groceries. I remember gas prices being particularly low, even, at that time I was living in New York. I remember paying under $2 for gas in New York. I don't remember any new major wars happening. I don't remember we having the issue at the border. Like, I don't remember a lot of the problems that I have today. And I had to realize that myself and Pink, obviously, we live two very different lives. And that is something that I feel like a lot of people have to keep in mind with these liberals, especially liberal white women. They tend to be very upper class or upper middle class or even middle class, where they can afford to vote for someone strictly based on their gender and on their race. They can afford to, for that to be their number one requirement, their number one motivation, because the economic policies of Kamala Harris does not affect them the same way it would affect you or I or other working class American citizens. They have the luxury of voting with their, gender and race preferences. I hate to be someone, or I don't like being someone that makes someone's class or economic class a reason to have an issue with them, because I don't like the way the left speaks about people that are rich or people that have money, where they have this really strange distaste for successful people. I don't have an issue with her success. I have an issue where she is voting for someone whose policies are going to be detrimental to people who are in a lower class than her, but that never hits her. People like that, they don't necessarily make that connection, because we have been hearing time and time again about how dissatisfied people are with this economy under Harris and under Biden. That is something that is largely known by a large portion of the electorate in this country. So I know she hears about it, but that doesn't matter to her. That's not her problem. Money, what are you talking about? I'm good. Y'all have to figure that out. We have the opportunity in 100 days to put a woman in the White Office. Is that not enough for you? It's enough for me.